From Argus Media, this is Fuels Focus, a recap of stories within the U.S. refined products marketplace from the week that was October 14th through the 18th, 2024. November NYMEX WTI finished the week near $70 a barrel as a strong dollar and multiple forecasts for declining crude demand weighed on prices. NYMEX RBOB was near $2.04 a gallon to close out the week, while ultra-low sulfur diesel was around $2.17 a gallon. The International Energy Agency trimmed its 2025 crude demand forecast this week, said it expects a significant production surplus next year. U.S. motor fuel prices saw an increase in the most recent week of reporting, with diesel values rising to a 7-week high. Diesel rose on average by 4.7 cents to $3.63 a gallon. That marks a fourth straight weekly increase and the highest price since late August. Retail gasoline prices added 3.5 cents over the week to $3.17 a gallon in the week that ended October 14th, rebounding off an 8-month low that was set the previous week. Compared with the same week last year, average gasoline prices have declined by almost 40 cents. Average diesel prices are down by about 80 cents. U.S. independent refiner Phillips 66 will shut its 139,000-barrel-a-day Los Angeles, California refinery in the fourth quarter of 2025, citing an uncertain future in the state. The company said it's working with land and real estate development firms to evaluate the future use of the 650-acre site that houses linked facilities in Wilmington and Carson, employing nearly 600 staff and 300 operators. Long-term sustainability of the company's Los Angeles operations was, quote, uncertain and affected by market dynamics, but the company said that it was committed to meeting ongoing California demand. Phillips 66 plans to supply California gasoline markets with fuels from its own refining network and other supplies while supplying renewable diesel and sustainable aviation fuel from its renewables refinery near San Francisco. Initial market reaction to the closure was muted, with one source telling Argus this week that the news would not have any effect on prices unless there was a change in the trading period's supply outlook. Speaking of California, the state's energy regulator will now require refiners to maintain minimum gasoline inventories. The law signed this week by Governor Gavin Newsom authorizes the California Energy Commission to regulate, develop, and impose requirements for in-state refiners to maintain minimum stocks of gasoline and gasoline blending components. The CEC would then have the authority to penalize refiners who fail to comply. No mandate on California refiners is imminent as the CEC begins the process of assessing how to structure and implement a minimum reserve rule. The industry group Western States Petroleum Association, that has long opposed Newsom's regulations of the oil and gas industry, called the enacted legislation a smokescreen for impending higher gasoline taxes in California. Frontier Airlines pilots voted to authorize their union to strike this week as it seeks a new labor agreement with the U.S. airline. The union has been in mediation with the airline since January, but now it can request a release to strike from the National Mediation Board. Strike authorization comes as Frontier's flight attendants voted to strike last month. And United Airlines reported profits eased by 15% in the third quarter this year, despite capacity reaching a record high. Profit fell to $965 million in the quarter. That's down from $1.14 billion in the third quarter last year. United paid for jet fuel at an average cost of $2.56 a gallon in the quarter, down 13% from a year ago. 1.17 billion gallons of fuel were consumed in the quarter. That's up by about 3.5% from the third quarter of 2023. That's all for this edition of Fuels Focus, a production of Argus Media, a leading independent provider of pricing and commodity market information. For more on these stories and others, along with the latest on pricing in the marketplace, make sure to subscribe to the daily Argus Media U.S. Products Report.